Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my video. In today's video, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing this look here that I did, as well as talking about how my makeup routine has changed during this social distancing and quarantine thing. I didn't ever think that I wanted to make a video about this type of thing on my channel. When this first started, I was just like, no, I'm just going to keep doing tutorials and not even talk about it. But then last night, I think it was, yeah, last night I was brainstorming about different videos that I would like to do, and it occurred to me that my makeup routine, the things I'm using, has changed since this whole thing started. So if you want to see my thoughts and my take on this whole beauty thing during this crazy time that we're all experiencing, then why don't we get right into it. Okay, so I have you zoomed out a little more than usual. I'm going to be doing a slightly bit of a different tutorial today, but I'm going to be using several palettes. This look was a hot mess to pull together. We'll see how it looks when all my makeup's complete, because right now I kind of hate it, but I kind of don't. Like, I'm on the fence. It's kind of different than anything I've done before, slightly. So I'm going to start off with using my Natasha Metropolis palette. I'm going to be dipping into the ColourPop Mint to Be. I'm going to be dipping into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. And am I going in with this one? I don't think, no, I decided not. Yeah, I'm going to be going in with the Tati Beauty palette, as well as the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction. Is that what this is called? So a lot of different palettes today. Basically, you need, if you want to follow along with this look, you need like a light brown, a dark brown, like a greenish color, whatever you have. This looks kind of a hot mess, but I decided to film it anyway just because it was different and I wanted to chat with you about things, and I figured it would be too short of a video if I just did that video by itself. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'm first taking, of course Sebastian's going, this color right here. I'm going to take that in first into the crease, and then I'm going to go in with the darker brown to darken it up. Now when I first, oh, and I'm also using a new base. This is part of the things that have changed in my makeup routine. I hate how I look right now, by the way. Ugh, it's the worst part of the video. So yeah, I did go out and buy a new primer just because I'm trying to save my good primers and my good makeup for, you know, when life begins to resume back to quote-unquote new normal, whatever that will look like. This look came out a lot more warm toned than I had initially wanted, but like I said, I'm not very good at creating like natural-ish looks. I feel like I suck at them. I said that before in a previous video. I don't know when that one's going up or what that one was. Alright, so now I'm just going back into the darker color and just taking that closer to the lid area. What was I saying? It is really hard to talk about stuff and do makeup at the same time. Interesting. I don't know how people do this. Yeah, so what was I saying? I'm trying to save my good makeup for when things go back to normal. So I'm running out of primers. I only have a couple. I have the Anastasia one that I'm using, and then I have a little mini of the Urban Decay eyeshadow potion, and then I have like maybe another use or two of the Smashbox one. But other than that, I don't really have a full-size primer. I need to get one, and I want to get one, but I feel like I can, oh, I have a couple other little samples too that I want to work with. I'm taking the darker shade on the lid now, bringing it towards here. What was I saying? Oh, this is really difficult. Oh yeah, needing new primers. And so I went to Walmart because obviously anything you order from Sephora now is going to take extra long to get to you. I did place a order on Friday, but I didn't order any primers because I didn't really feel it was necessary just yet. I might regret that later on. Okay, so now I want to deepen this up a little bit more, so I'm going into the Pat McGrath dark brown here. So I was like, well, what do I do when I want something? Because I wanted to use, I've been experimenting with different other primers and concealers, but they weren't, it just wasn't working. My soft ochre MAC paint pot, I find every time I was using it, I was getting like less than subpar eye makeup looks. So like, alright, like I need an actual primer. I'm not really good with using concealer on my eyelids. It just doesn't work as well for me. By the way, I don't really remember the steps that I took to get this look on this side. I kind of was just going for it and something didn't work, so I used something else. So this is going to be interesting to see if it turns out the way it does on that eye. But we'll make the best of it. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my, no, I used a different brush. I'm going to go in with this smaller dome brush into that same brown and just take it a little further into the crease. Okay, back to what I was saying. So I obviously am limited to where I can purchase makeup these days. So I went to my local Walmart and they have like, this was literally the only eyeshadow primer that was there. I checked L'Oreal, I checked CoverGirl, I checked Maybelline, I checked, did I say Rimmel? Rimmel. I checked Elf. Like, they just didn't have, I wanted to check Wet n Wild, but apparently they took that section out of my Walmart, so I can't access Wet n Wild. And I was not about to drive to the Walmart in the next town to me, because last time I went there, it was just a whole bad experience. So I was like, alright, I found this, it was $5, can't go wrong, right? I mean, I shouldn't really be buying anything right now. Makeup wise, that's kind of a waste. But I thought, it's $5, like, what's the harm, right? Worst case scenario, I can maybe use it for something else. Who knows? So I bought it, and today's the first time I'm using it, and I find that it works pretty well so far. I mean, the blend was beautiful. We'll see about the wear time as the day goes on. But right now, so right now I'm going back into the Metropolis palette and taking that brown there and just kind of working it more into the crease to buff and blend. So that's one thing that has changed about my makeup routine. I'm trying not to use basically my good products, so I'm not touching my primers until we go back to normal. I've been also experimenting with the different foundations I have in my collection, using the ones that aren't so good. So sometimes if you see me looking a little bit, my base is looking a little bit weird on videos, it's because I'm probably testing out or just trying to use up the foundations that I don't absolutely love and saving the ones that I do love for back to normal. My inner corner concealer has also changed. By the way, my hair is looking hot mess. Anyways, okay, what am I gonna do next? That's done. I'm gonna take that lighter brown from the Metropolis palette, and I'm just going to blend it out here some more just to buff everything out, make it look blown out and pretty, like I always do. I'm going to take my Brow Bone color next. So my inner corner concealer to cover my dark circles has also changed because I don't want to use my good products. First of all, I only have this little tiny sample of my NARS one that I fell in love with. So I'm not going to use the rest of that right now. And I have pretty dark inner corner circles, like it's actually blue. You can't see it right now, or maybe you can a little bit, but I take the time to cover it before I come on camera because that's like the one thing that I'm super self-conscious about. Okay, so for the inner corner here, what did I do? I don't know, let's start by taking this Trophy Wife, it's called Hustler Baby. Hustler Baby! Every time I say that, that song comes into my head. So I'm going to take that on my small dual fiber brush here and just start taking that onto the lid because I don't really remember what I did, but this looks about right. Okay, is the depth right? Let me just go back into my Pat McGrath, take that darker color and just take a little more onto the lid part here. I think that looks about right. So using different foundation, my inner corner concealer has changed. The one I'm using now is the one by MAC. I think I mentioned this in a video, a Shop My Stash video. It's the NC20, so I use that over top of the dark circles. But before I do that, I have to correct my darkness first. So I have this old palette by Makeup Forever, and I'm taking the orange shade here and I'm tapping that on and then going in with this. So these are two products that I don't love. It doesn't look great, but it's fine, it'll do. So I'm trying to use those up, so this is a perfect opportunity to do that. And then I have my Benefit Well Rested powder that I use over top to set everything, and that also gives it a little bit more of a brightening effect. But I have this little sample powder of Derma Blend loose setting powder. I don't really know where I got this from. Oh yeah, I do know, a sample little basket thing that I got. So I'm using that to go over top of it to set it. Again, it's not the best, but it will do for now for not going out and not seeing anyone. So that's what I'm doing for my eyeshadow stuff. Let me finish the inner corner here because it's really bothering me. What did I use? Okay, let's go in. Okay, I think I took my NYX base, eyeshadow base. If this is white, I believe I took that on just a little flat brush here. I want to create a base for the minty green color to stick to. Now, I used the ColourPop, where'd it go? Mint to Be palette. Oh, that's taking it off. Oh, this is turning into a disaster. Okay, let's not touch any more of that. But I didn't love the way it went on, but that's what I did on the other eye, so I'm going to do that again. And I used this little fluffy dome. It's not really dome, it has a point to it. But I'm just dipping into the Mojito Mommy shade in the middle there. And I'm going to tap that directly into the inner corner here. Excuse me, my nose is running. Sorry if that was gross. I have allergies lately and it's not fun. Okay, now to begin to blend that hot mess out, I did a couple different things here. The first thing, because I wanted to blend, I don't like how it's like so harsh there, so I took the shade Sponsored from the Jackie Aina palette, and I'm taking that, told you this video was a hot mess, on my MAC brush, and I'm just going to tap that, place that between the green and the brown on my actual eyelid. It's gonna help. It's gonna help everything blend and just look more seamless. And then I have this little individual shadow from Buxom. It's called Room Service. I'm not sure if this is still available. I got it a while ago. And I'm gonna wipe my brush off on my washcloth here. And I'm just gonna take that, the side that doesn't have the brown on it, and I'm gonna dip that in this color, and then I'm gonna start blending that ColourPop color in with the brown with that shadow right there. The green under here, it'll have to get fixed up when I apply my concealer. But for now, that is going to have, I'm going to take this here. Okay. Alright, now for the other step that I did, I just wanted, you can't even tell that I did this, so it's probably not necessary, but from the Tati palette, I took the sequin shade of the Ritual and the Soothe. I originally took the Ritual, like it's so, oops, such a pretty color. Can you see that? I just hate how the sequins don't really stay on your eye. So I'm taking that on the outer edge here, wiping my finger off, and then going into, actually I'm going to take a different finger, and I'm going to go into the Soothe. Look how pretty that is. And I'm going to tap that on the inner part here. This is part of my experimentation how to blend it all together, but I kind of like the way it looked. But unfortunately you can't really see much of the sequins on the other eye anymore. On my eyelids they just fall right off, which is a shame, because I like the idea, but it doesn't work for my eyelids. Okay. Sorry, I took some ice. Did I do my rub bone highlight? I don't even remember. This is what happens when I talk about other things when I'm doing a tutorial. I forget things. Okay, where was I? Okay, that looks about right. Maybe I'll just take a little bit more. Yeah. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Sponsored color on that brush. because it looks like when I tap the sequin shadow on, I lost it and I want it back. I'm going to go in with my finger a little bit. There we go. Okay. It's looking identical now. I just need to apply my eyeliner. So I will apply my eyeliner. I'm going to do my foundation. And I'll come back, finish the rest of the face with you, and continue on to the things that I'm doing differently during social distancing and quarantine. Okay, so I applied foundation, and the foundation I used was my Dior Backstage. I know I just finished rambling on about how I'm trying different foundations than I'm using my good stuff. Well, sometimes you just want your face to look good and not subpar. Also, I have a lot of these. The bottles are basically full, so I have a lot to go through, so I don't mind using it once in a while. Plus, I'm not self-tanned, so I needed something a little bit lighter. Basically all my other foundations are a little bit darker at the moment. So I used that, and then to set my face, I used my RCMA powder. I included this in this month's powder because I wanted to use it up because I didn't want to use any of my good stuff anymore. And I realized that this is great for setting the face, but it does nothing to control oil. I get much more oily throughout the day when I use this. But that brings me to my other thing that I'm using. Instead of like using like a tissue to blot the oils away, what I've been using, I broke out my old Becca, what was this, the Hydro Mist powder. I bought this and I didn't love it. I kind of felt it was too heavy on my face and just looked kind of cakey. So I've been using this on my forehead, nose, basically on my T-zone throughout the day when I want to take the shine away instead of using my good powder to blot it away. So far right now, it's doing the trick. So, you know, if you have any old powders that you didn't love before, maybe break them out and try using them. Okay, so to finish off my face, I already did my brows. Now I don't have any non-good brow products to use, so I'm still using that. I still kind of want good brows every day for myself. For bronzer, I used a product that I am trying to use up. This is a Bare Minerals powder. It's called Faux Tan. This is a little tricky to use and it's a little too orange and a little too dark, but I thought, heck, why not use it? So I broke out a bronzing powder that I want to try and use up. So go through your collection and just, you know, find stuff that you haven't really enjoyed using in the past and just, I don't know, experiment with it. I feel like if any time, and now's the time to experiment. Okay, so for highlight, I'm going to use, do I go with blush or highlight first? I'll go with highlight. I'm going to use my ABH Glow Kit, and last night I was playing around with this and I discovered that I really enjoyed mixing the shade Marshmallow and Starburst. So I'm going to go ahead and mix those on my cheekbones. Oh, I forgot to spray my face before I did this. It'll help make it stick more. Oh well. I didn't want my blush to go choppy, so I refrained from spraying my face at this moment. Now I didn't put my usual base down. I do try and preserve that sometimes, but I find this emphasizes a lot of texture, which I'm not loving, but oh well. For blush today, I found this little blush card here with 2 samples on it, Mykonos and Dolly, so I thought the orange would look, or the coral sword would look nice with this look. I'm just going to wipe off my blush brush on my towel here that's on my lap. And I have a little bit of this left, I think, yeah. So I'm just going to go in. I have my windows open, so I have to put my hand up so I don't get the daylight glare on my face, making it look like I'm putting nothing on. Alright, this is a nice color. Nice peachy blush to go with the warm toned eye. I feel like this eye is giving me slightly fall vibes. This is definitely, or maybe it could. I guess it can be considered like a summer. I'm loving the blend that the Natasha Denota Cream to Powder eyeshadows did. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in real life it looks, I just love those shadows so much. Okay, blush is done. I just want to spray my face because it is dry. And of course I'm running out of my spray. Of course I am. So for the lower lash line, oh, it feels so good to spray my face, get that dry feeling off. Oh, the other thing that I'm doing is I'm not using primer underneath my foundations because I have no desire if it lasts or doesn't last. That's another thing that's changed, not using primer. Okay, so for my lower lash line, I said that weird, I'm going with my Essence 2-in-1 eyeshadow and liner. And I'm just gonna give a base. And I'm also gonna take this one here from Rimmel. It's like an iridescent green color. Green, talking with a southern accent. I'm just gonna apply that on the inner part here, because I want the green to have something to really stick to. I'm gonna go in with the Buxom one, and I'm gonna take that on a I'll take it on a pencil brush because I kind of don't want it to be too precise. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. I'm gonna go back in with the ColourPop and just kind of bring it over top. Oh, I hate when it gets in my eyes. Okay, not bad, not bad. Now for the outer corner, I'm going to do a mixture of the two browns here. I'm going to start with the lighter one on this bigger brush here, just to give, can you guys see? Yep. Just to help with the blend and the blown out effect. Also, now is a great time to experiment with like different looks that you know, can't really do on the regular if you're not doing anything else. I personally I'm still working from home. So putting makeup on not only gives me a sense of self and a sense of put togetherness, it also helps me feel more like me. I know there's been a couple days where I just didn't feel like putting any makeup on and I was like, what's the point? But then I realized, like, I'm not doing my makeup for other people. I'm doing it for how it makes me feel. Like, I'm a creative person when it comes to color and stuff like that, and I love playing with new colors and combinations, stuff like that. Like, that's just kind of like what my makeup preferences are. But I was reading a couple articles online about how people were like being like shamed for wearing makeup during this time, and I kind of feel like that's kind of sad because everyone copes with times differently in their life. Like for me, I didn't stop wearing makeup. I just, you know, I'm altering the way I'm wearing it. Like for instance, what was it, yesterday, the day before? There was one day this week where I wanted to try that fox eye technique. So, I mean, usually I'd have to wait till the weekend to do that. And if I wanted to film a video or tutorial, I couldn't really do that because I wouldn't have the time. So, you know, it was a perfect time for me to experiment with a look that I otherwise probably wouldn't have tried ever. It didn't really turn out all that great. This eye turned out better than this eye. I was going to film it, but I was like, no. It's a whole different technique than what I'm used to. So, but yeah. Where was it going with that? Where's my brush? Seriously, where's my brush? Oh, there it is. So now's a great time to just, you know, experiment with different looks. If you want to try a bold red lip, put it on. Where are you going? Who's going to see? Take a picture of yourself. Take a selfie. Try a dark brown smoky eye or a black smoky eye if you've always wanted to do it. Now is the perfect time to experiment. The perfect time. I went through my collection of makeup the other day and I pulled out eyeshadows and stuff like that that I hadn't used for a while, and now I'm using them. For instance, where did it go? Oh no, that's how I found this bronzer. I was like, oh, that's in there. Let's pull that out and use it. Okay, highlight. I think the eyes are pretty much done. I'm gonna use this highlight here. Mix the two together again. Sorry, I'm using the one for my palette here. Okay. I'm gonna apply mascara and I'll come back and finish the look and finish my little chit chat with you. Okay, so mascara is on. Of course, you had to yell the second I said that. For for lipstick, I'm going to go in with the shade Stripped from MAC. Did you even see that? I hate how I can never get putting lipstick on in frame. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm going to go over it with Nude Beach from Too Faced because I find this is a little too, like, I don't know. Just want something a little pinkier and a little lighter over top. Okay, for lip liner, I'm using my Annabelle lip liner here in the shade Buff. The one I always use pretty much. That did like no difference. Anyways. Okay, so here is the final look, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if I was a rambly hot mess throughout this entire video. I wanted to, you know, experiment with a different look, while also talking about, you know, how some people's makeup or how my makeup has changed during social distancing and quarantine. A lot of people aren't doing their makeup these days, and that's completely understandable, but some people are. I, for one, still do mine just because I like the way it makes me feel. It helps me feel put together, it helps me get ready for the day. I just feel more like myself when I do my makeup. Like I said, I'm an I like to experiment, and I like to be creative with my makeup, so for me it's not about, you know, just putting it on to look presentable to the public. It's for me, and you know, if you're like that, then that's awesome, but if you're also one who just sees no point, that's great. But I just thought I would come on here and, you know, do a different spin on it, like different ways you could do your makeup in quarantine if you don't want to use, you know, your awesome products, or if you want to take a break, let your skin breathe, maybe experiment with more natural looks. Now is the perfect time to experiment, if you're bored and you're looking for something to do. By the way, that was me throwing my hands up because my camera angle is really narrow when you can't really see anything going around out here. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I don't think there was any other products that I had worked in. Oh, I did find 2 more MAC lip glosses, sorry, that I was going to back to MAC, but I decided that now would be a perfect time to try and wear them and try and use them up. One's Dreamy and one's Cultured. They're not expired, they still smell like that MAC smell. So I was like, perfect! So I'm wearing these during the day to keep my lips hydrated. I did find that when this whole thing started, I wasn't applying lip products regularly, and my lips were getting dry. So I had to make an effort to put, you know, my lip gloss on, or a lip balm, or just something to keep my lips hydrated. And I think that was it. I mean, there's a few more products here that I pulled out that I found, but basically, you know, still doing me. Keep doing you. I don't know where that came from, but anyways, I'm going to stop rambling now. This video is probably like half an hour long. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't offend anyone. I try not to offend anyone in any of my videos, but anyways, thank you so much for watching, and you will see me in my next video. Bye!